for granted, act like you're so in control. Keep swinging at the world till we don't see what's in your soul. Mama, can't you see that you ain't free? Not me, just the track or the 1/8" aux input. Now I'm doing me, yeah. You don't know what you think you know. You thought I was your fool. You don't know the things you're thinking. Let's go. Hey, stop all that. Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming to my sound check. Hi, everybody. Oh crap! No, I'm not going to start right now. There's an intro and some announcements, and I'm just used to running my mouth. So here, I'm going to hand it over to you, madame.
All right, thank you. Hello, Fremd Vikings. Happy Friday, last day of Writers Week. Welcome. Woo! It's hard to believe it's the last day. It's been a wonderful, wonderful week. We have some important people to thank before we see JC Brooks. Please thank you to Viking boosters, for whom their support would not be possible, so please go home, thank your parents. Any Viking booster parents here, thank you. Thank you to the Fremd English department. Thank you to Mrs. Ank and Mr. Anderson for all of their tireless effort, behind the scenes work. This would not be possible without them as well, for certain, for sure. Thank your teachers for bringing you here. And thank you to you students. You are a wonderful, the very best audience for sure. So, period 7 on Friday, we have JC Brooks, first time here at Fremd, and we're very happy and honored to have him. He is a poet, a musician, a singer, songwriter. He's the frontman of JC Brooks and the Uptown Sound, a group that has been described as a cross between Otis Redding, who was a jazz singer, a rhythm and blues of the back in the day, also coupled with the Three Stooges. So a combination of Otis and the Three Stooges. For those of you that don't know, it's like they were a vaudeville comedy team back from the 20s to like the 70s. So his music is very unique, in other words, and we are excited to have him here. It's been described as a mix of explosive garage, funk, and soul sound. He's from here, based in Chicago. He's performed in and around Chicago, New York, and even Spain, I understand. So without further ado, welcome JC Brooks.
Thank you. I'm going to disappoint the hell out of all you slapstick fans right now. It was actually the Stooges, fronted by Iggy Pop, so we call it post-punk soul. There's some of the classic stacked shouting soul of Otis Redding. There's a lot of the wild energy and shoutiness of this. Why don't I just do it? Right? Yeah. Let me explain my music for the next 15 minutes. Oh, hear it. No. Let's dance about architecture. Touch me, I go blind, leave everything I know behind. You probably wanna make sure I'm locked and tight. If I get out into the night, you'll never find me. I stumble in the dark, I feel it pull when you're not around. So deep the light gets in the way. See, you never love me when I'm here. Wait till I'm gone, then try to draw me near. Last night I put your number on my block list. Resist the urge to miss your kiss. Now kill the lights and disappear. Stumble in the dark, I feel it pull when you're not around. So deep the light gets in the way. Stumble in the dark, you reach for walls with me. You took away the light and now I stand in the dark. I feel it cool when you're not around. So keep the light gets in the way. It gets a little light gets in the way. And so I stand in the dark. You reach for problems with me. Coming down, what's happened to the light? It went away. Thank you guys. A lot of our music explores mature themes, and the most I'll say about this one before it starts is that our relationships are transactional. You hope you're trading love for love, but sometimes you're just trading comfort and security. So, if I didn't love you, I would never say. And all the secret things you want can see the light of day. Yeah. I like you, I need you, you bite the hand that feeds you. You beg for flowers, then neglect them till they die away. But you say that you're in love. I heard it twice. You say that we're in love. Now, see, you need security, I need assurances. You need security, me, I need assurances. You need security, I want assurances. You need security, so give me some assurances. Wow. Say, if you really love me, you would never go and leave the thing that I hold sacred shattered on the floor. See, you grab it, you smash it, so no one else can have it. The broken pieces of my past for me to still recall. Say that you're in love. You say that we're in love. I'm not so easily convinced. Oh, you need security, I need assurances. You need security, me, I need assurances. You need security, I want assurances. You want security, just give me some assurances. You're frightened because you've been ignored by love before. You hazard any risk to excite your heart. Oh, I am savage because I've been destroyed by love before. I would sacrifice my soul to protect my heart, my heart, my heart. See, because all we ever have is right now. The soul is the future, my heart is right now. And I can't give up my future. Just waiting for you to destroy me, right here in the present. I said, you need security, I need assurances. You need security, me, I need assurances. You need security, I want assurances. You want security, so give me some assurances. Say, you need security, I need assurances. You need security, me, I need assurances. You want security, I want assurances. You need security. like this with a live band. I gotta stop between songs and press their buttons. All this stuff. Oh, wait. You were married for a week, and I could never turn you off. Through the fire, I surrendered to you. You were so inspired, and I was so impressed to be up in your bedroom. Wanna make it with you. You left me up with no heaven. I could barely refuse. Now I am around with every stranger you know. Say, now I am around with every stranger you know. Every stranger you know. You Alright, get your rest in now. You got an 8th period coming up, right? Having fun today? Thank you, guys. You were silent for a month, which is easier than saying something's wrong. And you pout, you lick your lips when you brood. You were uninspired, and I was unprepared to be left out with no headroom in a dangerous mood. You hung me up in your bedroom, we said I found a mood. See, now I fool around with every stranger you know. Now I fool around with every stranger you know. Every stranger you know. Every single one you know. You said I was wrong, but I was so good for somebody. I could be good for somebody else. And then you let me go. Somebody else, somebody else, somebody else, oh, somebody else. Oh. Now I fool around with every stranger you know. Thank you, guys. You can call me impatient, you can call me rude. I'm just staying in my lane. I do me and you shoot. Go on, do you, boo. Why you wanna pull me down? Why you trying to suck me in? Kicking rocks up clouds of dust, talking trash just because I ain't got that kind of time. Ain't got that kind of time. I've got bigger mountains I've got to climb. you walking, talking in circles, ain't got a damn thing new to say, no. Why you gotta stir things up? Why you trying to mix me in? Kicking rocks up clouds and don't go on and pop that bush just because I ain't got that kind of time. Ain't got that kind of time. I've got bigger mountains I've gotta climb. You can go start a riot, set something on fire. I'm seeing what you're selling, but I ain't gonna buy, 'cause I ain't got that kind of time. This is a song for all the haters. But you gotta be saying to them in your head, baby, see you can't hide your true intention. Don't you know in another dimension, situation is escaping your comprehension. You reject the jungle just for my attention. Hey, baby, need to check your math. You think you're so clever, too clever by half. Oh, you're so mad you think you lose your mind. You run down the world just to give my time. Oh, ain't got that kind of time. Ain't got no. I've got bigger mountains I have got to climb. You can go start a riot, set something on fire. I'm seeing what you're selling, but I ain't gonna buy, 'cause I ain't got that kind of time. I said you go start a riot, set something on fire. I'm seeing what you're selling, but I ain't gonna buy. So go start a riot, set something on fire. I'm seeing what you're selling, but I ain't gonna buy it. Go start a riot, set something on fire. Go start a riot, set something on fire. Yo, the profit is not yours. Yo, go start a riot, set something on fire. Go start a riot, set something on fire. Yo, go start a riot, set something on fire. Go start a riot, set something on fire. Yo! Cheers, thank you. All right, as it gets more and more violent, this next song is about the unabashed slaughter of billionaires. Let's go. No, we're doing it from a distance. Come on, gun culture. Just kidding. I wake up early. I just barely got to bed. I don't make no money, no. I do favors instead. But this ain't no warning, so stay out of my way. You see, if I were to love you, you'd be gone in a day. Yes, you would, baby. The river is very, the river is very, the river is very. It goes from high to low. It goes from high to low. Now I came to question whether I was alone. You see, if a house is left vacant, can you call it a home? No. And I won't make no promise, 'cause it's been coming on for years. But if I can't find you and hold you, my love, shit, well, I will drown in the river of my own tears. Yes, I will. The river is very, yes it is. Oh, the river is very, every day. The river is, it goes from high to low. It goes goes from high down to low, yeah. And when you feel you wanna die, the world is rushing by, you know you're high, you gotta hold on, yeah. Ooh, no matter what they say, you gotta find a way to make it through today. You hold on, yeah. Oh, when your heart is lost and can't be found, you find a way to hold on. Yes, you do. You just grab up to whoever's around, and you hold on. You know I wake up early, right? I can't sleep the night through. No, no, no. I get so high, so low. The one constant is you. Yes, it's true. Yes, it's you. Oh, the river is flowing. Yes, it is. The river is flowing. Every single day, the river is flowing. See, it goes from high to low. It goes from high down to low. All right, thank you guys. Songs are about a lot of different stuff. It's probably the most, not the most personal, but the most relatable personal, because everybody gets the sad sads. And I've been dealing with it since before I was your age, and I'm 40 now. And, you know, it's, if you have the means to see a therapist, if you have the means to be on medication, do that. Because struggling through your 20s unmedicated with bipolar disorder ain't no fun. And your 20s should be fun. So study hard and save all the fun for your 20s. But see a therapist now, seriously. If you need one, see one. Don't be afraid of meds, because they will help you if you're with the right doctor. And that was a personal song about not being very, very happy. The river, it's varied. She goes from high to low. The river's my mood. Let's see. Where are we going next? Oh, love song, yay. You know, after this, I might swerve into a little bit of poetry, and before I start that, I'm gonna open it up for a couple of questions if anybody has any, so just think about them during this one. Tossed and turned in bed all night, I couldn't sleep. Think of how I pray to you, my song to keep. A whispered promise dropped a match into my heart. We dream like we don't know that love will tear us apart. Oh, what are we doing here? We're playing with fire, playing with fire. Playing with fire, now we're on fire. We're hand in hand, we're running through a summer night. But I blink and then our laughing love becomes a fight. Oh, when we burn too hot, you know it's never twice the same. And we can only blame ourselves when we find our lives in flames. Oh, what are we doing here? We're playing with fire, playing with fire. Oh, what are we doing here? We're playing with fire. on fire. You were supposed to help me find the flame, and we could build a love so big and bright it could never be claimed. No more speeding through the night, you know we're headed for a crash. I only light a flame so hot it burns our hearts to ash. Oh, what are we doing here? Playing with fire, playing with fire. Oh, what are we doing here? Playing with fire. Now we're on fire. Oh, what are we doing here? We're playing with fire. We're playing with fire. Oh, what are we doing here? Playing with fire. Now we're on fire. You were supposed to help me fan the flame. You said you're gonna help me fan the flame. You were supposed to help me fan the flame. You said you're gonna help me fan. Thank you, guys. All right, so, anybody, anything yet? Why are you only singing songs that my divorced parents would like? That is a very valid question to me. It's because I've had the heart of a divorced dad since I was 14 years old. Happiness was never in the cards for me. Next question. All right. Oh, yes, you, right here on stage with the microphone. No, anybody? Anybody? You, young lady.
So how long have you been writing, and also, like, what is your process to start writing?
Oh, man. Real questions? No. So the question was, how long have I been writing, and what is the process whenever I start to go or start to write a song? I've been writing in various forms since I was in, or for fun at least, since I was in middle school. And I started out with short stories, discovered a love of poetry in high school, and also started my first band then. So started writing songs then, and I've been writing since. And the process is kind of depends on the project, if it's contract work, which is kind of sterile and kind of mercenary, but if you are a professional writer, you are going to write about things that you don't give a crap about sometimes. So you got to take the contract, you got to pay your bills. And when I'm working with contract work like that, I gather all the data that I possibly can and kind of do a word cloud and see what pops up to me or pops out at me as like dynamic phrases or ideas that I can mold into something else. I look for metaphors and try to expand on them in that way. And then after I write a whole bunch of nonsense, then I edit it with a focus back toward the original goal and etc. And basically it's the art of refining down to what your client wants, which is, it can be fulfilling. I've had projects that I started out not caring about that developed into something that I really loved. And conversely, on the personal writing side, there have been projects that I was super gung-ho about that I turned over so much in my head and that I listened to so much that I ended up hating, and then I play it for a friend or somebody else in the band, and I'm like, this is great, and I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about, why do I play music with you? Ugh. But it's kind of like that. As far as personal writing goes, it's whenever the inspiration strikes, and it comes in so many different forms. Sometimes it is something that I like, a feeling I need to exercise. Sometimes it is just cool production that I heard on another song that I'm like, oh, I want to play around with that. And if anyone has ever played around with a DAW with synths, it's really, really easy to get lost in creating sounds and stuff. So that's a really fun way to get into the writing process. All right, very long answer. Thank you for your question. Young man.
I have two questions.
Sure.
Okay, so one, I produced, I want to know what DAW you use, and two, explain the more post-punk influence you were talking
Cool, will do. I use Logic Pro X. I don't do any like professional production at home. So I just use it mainly for demoing and getting ideas ready to present to the band, and then I don't really. I hire a producer for the studio because that's a lot of stuff to be. It's a lot of stuff for me to be thinking about, and I find that it's super stressful if I don't find what I can delegate, especially when you're in the studio, because performing live it's a lot of fun, but it's a completely different beast, and it's a lot more freeing. But in the studio, you know that you're making a permanent record. So for me, at least in here, it gets super heavy and super stressful. And if I'm only worried about delivering vocals, lyrics, it's way easier. The second question was, post-punk influence. It's coming around. But basically, when we first started, the goal was to create something that had a classic soul sound, like I said, with Stax Records. And the first time we all got together, the original band, we were just talking about what music we liked, and the bands that came up the most were soul bands and bands like Gang of Four and The Clash and Talking Heads and Delta 5 and whatnot. So we just looked for ways to meld the sounds a little bit better. And we've been a band since 2007. So 13 years. So in that time, what started off as a kind of garagey, unpolished sound has grown with our musicianship to have slightly rounder edges, but still maintain some of the energy that I think of when I think of post-punk music, and also some of the subject matter, because it tends to be a little less fluffy and a little more social issues oriented. So yeah, that's where it is. All right, yes, ma'am.
This is a question. I just want to say you're really good for your age.
Oh, wow! That's not as much of a compliment as you think, but thank you. It's almost like saying it's like the southern backhanded compliment, like, I never knew a boy your size could look so good in that color. It's like, oh, what, that felt good but bad at the same time. No, thank you, I appreciate it. I moisturize. Way up top. Oh yeah, in the shadows, Shadow Man. What do you got? Sure. The first question was, how did I find myself in a band? And it all started in 2007 when I answered a Craigslist ad. And I got together with them. It's I wish the story was more exciting or complex or less internet-y. Like, oh yeah, we were friends, we went to high school together, we just kick around and play music. But no, I'm also an actor, and I was just wrapping up the rehearsal process for a musical and had a lot of free time on my hands. And free time can be a dangerous thing. So I was looking for something to vacuum up all that free time, and I answered the right Craigslist ad, and I've been answering that ad for the past 13 years. Whew. That is a very good question, because I don't really have an answer, you know? The second question was, how do I stay motivated with writing? And and if I don't die before I get back to the podium, I'll answer it. It is, sometimes it's difficult, especially when you're like wrestling with your dumb brain chemicals. Motivation is easy when it's financial. So when I have to pay rent, there's a due date, and you just get her done. But as far as like personal writing, or maybe completing revisions before we go into the studio to record or something like that, the thing that works on me, I mean, two of our most powerful motivators, guilt and shame, I just let myself know that if I don't get this done, I will be letting everyone down and wasting the money that we're spending on the studio. And you know, it's not the best way to motivate yourself. It is not the healthiest way to motivate yourself, but it is an honest answer. Yeah, I kind of just beat myself up until I get it done when I'm not particularly feeling it, and sometimes that's what you gotta do. Yes, good sir. Yes, I am. Just Spotify, JC Brooks, Spoogle JC. All right, these last two, and then and we'll do another one a little bit later on. All right, dark shirt.
What have you acted in?
Acted in a lot of theater. I got nominated for a Jeff for a production of Ragtime. Done shows like Songs for a New World, Once on This Island. Nothing prestigious, no Broadway, nothing like that. It's all like Chicago area theater. So yeah, mostly theater. I act every time I get pulled over by a cop. I mean, we all act every day. I love it when people tell me, they're like, oh, I'm not an actor, I couldn't do that. And I'm like, baby, you do it every day. Every time you're running late for work, you become an actor. Every single time. So yeah, you know, just acting stuff around town. I haven't done a full show in about 3 or 4 years, but 2020 has actually been the return to theater year, so we'll see how that works out. Good sir, one last one.
Who's your favorite rapper and what's your favorite Jackie Chan?
Ooh, okay, good questions. Favorite rapper right now is probably a young lady named Samus. Yeah. And my favorite Jackie Chan movie is, without a doubt, The Legend of Drunken Master. It has got some of the most beautiful fight choreography. And when I say like beautiful, I'm not just like, I got a violence boner. No, I'm saying that it is like, I'm not used to talking to young people. But it is downright balletic. If you ever get a chance to see any of his, really guys? Oh God, okay. And he sent the auditorium a Twitter with the B word. All right, more music. Yes. More music. Let's bonus. All right. A song called Better Class of Thieves. They buy low, they sell high, grabbing every piece of pie. No concern for raising rent, keeping us in tenements. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Better class of thieves. Yeah. Charging us to cash a check, even if it is correct. Your bills pile up, you can't get paid. Minimum, it ain't no wage. Oh yeah. That's what we got. A better class of thieves. You know what they do, right? They will hide behind their corporate speed. They'll sell us what we got for free, telling you just what they ought to be. They're just a better class of thieves. Better class of thieves. Yo, you got the shipmen ain't on the street. They're out around in limousines, shaking hands and smiling wide, getting all the people high. Oh yeah. That's what they're doing to us, a better class of thieves. And you can call it what you will, but packaged death comes in a pill. They got rich while people died, and we all know no one gets tried. Oh yeah. You never hear about the Sackler's copter crashing, you know? They count the stacks while all these mamas grieve. All the babies have to leave it. Tell us that their country's free, telling you just what they ought to be. They're just a better class of thieves. registered. Be registered. If you are going to be 18 by November, be on top of your ish, please. Because we are in one of the most desperate situations that we keep putting ourselves in over and over and over and over again. Yo, we actually need the people who are going to be the future voting on the future. So, this November, we get called to make a choice. And damn it, I'm gonna raise my voice. We can't have a White House president no more. Nah, not grabbing president. Oh yeah. We gotta get them out, better class of thieves. We in pain, but they play dumb. The schism caused by racism, but it ain't our thing to fix, so we don't control the politics. Oh yeah. 13% is just small enough to keep that boot on your neck, you know. I don't believe when you say you can't see. Oh, say can you see? No. Wrap that bootstrap round our necks and lynch us with your meritocracy. You're just a better class of me. Hey, yeah. Better class of these. Oh, yeah. Don't you know we got tonight? Stop your lying and your cheat tonight. Stevie said, we are amazed but not amused by all the things you say you do. No much concern but not involved with decisions that are made for you. Better class of thieves. Thank you guys. Oh, 2 minutes. Wow! All right, we just blew through this. Gosh, poem and stuff. Here, yeah, because I'll end on this. Cranial manatees crashing around inside of me, destroying the lee of my sanity, disintegrating every levee. These beasts are the chief forces behind the squall on the sea of emotion. See, too much blind blubber buffets them as they drunkenly dance into the side walls of my skull, every thought weakening the hull that keeps me from drowning in the world. Television is a welcomed encroacher, a diligent poacher on my mental preserve, an interloper who inspires for hope for the future of triumph of id over e, going, gone, until the lids of my eyes arise and I greet the dawn. You see, I am purely me when I am sleeping, keeping counsel with the creeping reaper who bleeps the sensors that sense errors everywhere, drawing shades on that infernal internal peeper who sees me as my missteps and nothing deeper, allowing me to heap up all of my self-consciousness, light a match and blow it a napalm kiss. Bombastic catatasticity returns to me, allowing me to be the he I used to be when I was wee and had a heart full of dreams and a head full of LSD. I said, thank you, Reverend Leary. And he said, can I get an amen? And I said, and he said, can I get a hallelujah? And I said, and he said, can I get a witness? And I said, I'll testify. Fire is hot and cars are hard. But really, who can dissect a thought's anatomy? Cranial manatees bombarding me, neurons connecting the outside to what's outside to the real me. Each one is a giant smaller than a flea, with all the mass of a heavenly body and twice the weight of a starving child's dying plea. This is not a place for the faint of heart, and this is a place where the sleight of head should fear to tread. So maybe I shouldn't have let you know all those things my stupid heart said, but now that you know, I hope you're not scared of me, like there's a full moon and I suddenly came down to the case of lycanthropy. Look, before the moon rises and I set sail on my subconscious sea to slay the creatures that have been tormenting me, one will be saved because it is unfair, or one will be spared because it is unfair to annihilate an entire species, be it bird or bee or insecurity. Ladies and gentlemen, you are the Omega Manatee. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, afternoon. Oh yeah, and if you have time and money, I have CDs and LPs and all kinds of stuff for sale too. Let me go grab the bag, get it on the couch.